Okay, guys, I'm back. Hey, more great stuff in the background. This is, I think, a church here in Balboa Park in San Diego. This is just a quick video to talk about the reading from More Legal Fictions, Legal Fictions and More Legal Fictions. I came across this as I was doing research for this class, and I was just like, this is a great little, I think I called it in the syllabus an amuse-bouche to get us started. This person in the 40s took classic stories. Also, there's a saxophone around and the organ is back, so just bear with me. And I'm slightly whispering because there's like people not that far away. But in any event, this guy, Lawrence Pollack, he took the classics like Greek, a lot of like Greek myths, and also then like in More Legal Fictions he did Shakespeare, and he basically turned them into court cases, turned them into judicial opinions. When we started planning for this class, Dean Anderson was very clear that it should not be law in literature. It should not be duplicate the other class that we have that talks about, okay, how does fiction depict law? But this is not that. This is fiction depicted as law, and I love this. In part because I think it can help us think about, what are the differences between and similarities between what we traditionally think of as fictional forms and what we traditionally think of as legal forms. Because here we have an example of someone taking, seemingly just, for fun, taking fictional content and putting it into a legal form. And I want us to think about, and I want you to think about, and we'll discuss it when we meet, what can this tell us about the nature of the form of the judicial opinion? In his introduction, Pollack says, if we believe in and he was British, if we believe in our British legal system, sort of reflecting, I think, maybe a slightly antiquated view, a British view of themselves. But in any event, if we believe in the superiority or just the goodness of this system, it ought to be able to handle anything. It should be able to handle centaurs. It should be able to handle things that aren't grounded in reality. But then we come back to the question of what does this tell us? I think about the difference between legal writing and like literary writing. Oftentimes it seems like surfacey, like the difference is, well, one's grounded in reality and one isn't. Here we're taking something that's seemingly not grounded in reality and putting it into a form that's meant for things that are. But I almost think that, and again, I'm gonna tread slightly on the other class's territory and say, I think in some ways that maybe begs the question, how much is the Merchant of Venice grounded in reality? If you boil it down, there are human urges, thoughts, feelings, a sense of human existence there that is real, even though Shylock and Antonio are made-up characters. So we're going to be blurring the lines a lot between, I think, this concept of, okay, well, literature is made up and law is real. And so this is to get us started on that. I'm curious to hear what you all think of this, and to hear what you think of whether, like how this feels as, not like a substitute's the wrong word. Say like, well, I don't need to read Merchant of Venice now that I've read this, or watch it. But, how does the experience of reading this differ from our experience of the dramatized, Merchant of Venice? And also, and specifically, I guess I would say, rather than also, I'll say specifically, what can this give us that original source doesn't? That's, I think, something to think about too. Let's talk about that in class. All right. We're coming up on 4.5 minutes on this video too, so I will sign off. You really, I was joking before. You don't have to like and subscribe, but really do. All right.